Good evening and welcome to the Portland City Council regular meeting of June 11th, 2013. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for our men and women serving overseas. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. The clerk, please call the roll.
Mark Hopler.
Present.
Ron Ackerman.
Present.
Deborah Benko. Excused. Kathy Mel. Present. Mike Snyder.
Present.
Nicole DeFrias. Present. Randy Lipstra.
Here.
Thank you. Council has before them the June 7th special meeting minutes. Could I I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as stated.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Could I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Bell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The chair notes that certification has been received regarding compliance with the rules and notification of this meeting. We will now go to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple announcements. This June 23rd, we are blessed to have the Special Olympics. We're going to welcome them through the city. They will probably be coming in right around 5 o'clock. We have some of our law enforcement out there to give them their ride from the Clinton Bay all the way into town on Jefferson Street. The police department, Brooklyn Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, ODNR, Coast Guard. Apologize for anybody who I've missed. We're going to welcome them in, and I ask that the community also welcome them in because they will be running right down Perry Street and ending at Lakeview Park to hold their ceremonies there. So I really hope to reach out to the community to please support them. Probably around 5 o'clock on Perry Street. June 23rd. Okay. Other things, I'm sure a lot of folks have seen some of the trailers, fishing trailers and stuff that have been up at Waterworks Park. That is for a walleye tournament that's going on this Friday and Saturday. The big sponsor there is Cabela's. So we're looking forward to them having a great weekend and doing extremely well. I know there'll be a lot of media coverage and to advertise our town and how great we know we are. But we need to make sure everybody else knows it. So we ask that you welcome them as well. And that's all I have this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. Auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to remind everybody that I sent out the May 2013 month-end reports on June 3rd. So please look at the receipt.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Law Director's report. Thank you. Safety Service Director's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I passed out to you guys the 2013 project schedule, just to give you guys an update of what's going on in the time frame for a lot of this stuff. You guys know pretty much most of the projects we got going on here. I wanted to make sure you know the time frames, and if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer or come in and see us. Walt Wehinkle put this together for us when we talked about this. So I think this is a great plan to show you. You know, for example, 6th Street bid opening was the 28th, and construction has started. Underground Utilities, they're going to town putting the water line in on 6th Street, so that's going forward. Tomorrow, Jefferson Street will be closed across 6th Street because of the tie-in of the water line through the intersection. So just so you guys know, that's going on tomorrow. Finishing up the project on Perry Street as we speak with the electrical upgrades to the pump stations. The box is in, and it should be finished by the end of the week or early next week. That should be taken care of. And then, of course, you see the other stuff, safe routes to schools, Taft Street, you knew was going on. 2nd and Elm, I have a bid opening on July 2nd. That's through the county's office up there, so they're the ones that control that purse on that. You know, we're working with Pogemeyer, 2nd Street downtown, Fulton Street 4th to 5th to the alley. We want to get that done after we open up the street on 6th Street from Fulton to Jefferson. Sewer lining's on here. The nature trail will be notified by August 1st. But this gives you a nice little list to know what's going on, the kind of the time frame that things are going on. And like I said, if there's anything comes up with that, please don't hesitate to give a call to my office. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Police Chief's report.
Thank you, Madam President. All I have for you tonight is most of you aware of the possible attempted child abduction around 10th and Jefferson on Sunday. I can tell you that Detective Carpenter has been following up leads all day, and we're diligently working to see if we can identify either the van or the individuals inside with cooperation from all the East End law enforcement agencies. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Fire Chief's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Under correspondence this evening, I have the Finance Committee meeting minutes of May 21st and the auditor's report, which you received by email. Could I have a motion to accept the correspondence as stated?
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Could I have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Snell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now go to the reading of ordinances and resolutions. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, Resolution 1302. Resolution 13-02, strongly opposing the passage of HB 5 by the Ohio General Assembly, which proposes uniformity measures for municipal income tax in the form of unfunded mandates and substantial loss of revenue and declaring an emergency. Does council wish to take any action this evening on Resolution 13-02? Mr. Cobbler.
I'd like to make a motion we adopt Resolution 13-02. I'd like to make a motion we retain the emergency clause.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in Resolution 13-02. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second that, please, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Ackerman. Any discussion on the retaining of the clause? Would the clerk please call the roll? Mark Koppler,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Randy Lipstra,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias. Yes. Kathy Mel. Yes. Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on Resolution 13-02? Mr. Coppler.
Thank you, Madam President. We'll try this again. I'd like to make a motion we adopt Resolution 13-02.
I have a motion to adopt Resolution 13-02. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lipstra. Any discussion? Mr. Coppler.
Thank you, Madam President. Finance Committee did meet and we discussed this. Jeff Bugbee came in and gave us a little talk on this HB 5. And while generally it's agreed that there needs to be more uniformity in income tax collection, they do not like House Bill 5, and this is just showing support for them to go back and work at it a little bit longer. So we recommend adopting ordinance 13-02.
Thank you. Any other discussion? The clerk please call the roll. Nicole DeFrias. Yes. Kathy Mel. Yes. Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Mark Koppler.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 13-02 has passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, Ordinance 17-13. Ordinance 17-13. An ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into a dockage and wharf agreement with the Sassy Cells Charter Service and declaring an emergency. Does council wish to take any action this evening on Ordinance 17-13? Mr. Lipstrom.
Make a motion we retain the emergency clause on ordinance 17-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in Ordinance 17-13. Do I have a second? I'll second that, Madam President. Thank you, Mrs. Snell. Any discussion? The clerk please call the roll. Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Kathy Mel. Yes. Randy Lipstrom.
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias. Yes. Mark Koppler.
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on Ordinance 17-13? Mr. Lipstrom.
Make a motion we adopt ordinance 17-13.
I have a motion to adopt Ordinance 17-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Mel. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Mark Kapler,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 17-13 has passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 18-13?
Ordinance 18-13, an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Port Clinton for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 18-13? Mr. Snyder.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to retain the emergency clause on the ordinance.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 18-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. DeFreitas. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Mark Kapler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 18-13? Mr. Snyder.
Move we adopt ordinance 18-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 18-13. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Mrs. DeFreitas. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mark Kapler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 18-13 has passed. We will now go to readings, second readings of ordinances and resolutions. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 20-13?
Ordinance 20-13, an ordinance recognizing the Greater Portland Area Arts Council and endorsing its mission statement and public art program.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 20-13? Seeing none, we will move that to the June 25th meeting for its third reading. I would now entertain a motion to add ordinances 22-13, 23-13, 24-13, and 25-13 to tonight's agenda.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Can I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam
Thank
President.
you, Mrs. Bell. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Mark Kapler,
Yes.
Thank you. Would the clerk now read ordinance 21-13 by title and summary only?
Ordinance 22-13. 21 is,
Oh, got it.
Ordinance 21-13, an ordinance accepting the application for the annexation of certain territory containing 12.556 acres in Bay Township to the city of Portland.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 21-13? Mr. Snyder?
Yes, I don't choose to take any action at this point, but I do have a question of the process of this particular ordinance. Is this the last step in the process of the annexation?
The last step for the city council to take, yes.
Let's say either tonight or down the road, we accept this ordinance, pass this ordinance. What's the next step, and at what point does it then become Port Clinton?
On acceptance of the ordinance or passage of the ordinance, and then the clerk preparing 3 sets of documents and filing those with the county, with the board of elections, and with the secretary of state. Then it becomes final.
Once the secretary, so a couple weeks after. Just curious. Thank you.
Seeing, start with you.
No.
Oh.
Sorry, Matt.
Okay. Get your hand raised. So sorry. We will move ordinance 21-13 for the second reading to the June 25th meeting. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 22-13?
22-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the Taft Street, Columbia Avenue sanitary sewer and road reconstruction project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance number 22-13?
Another question, if I may. Is this something the administration would like to see happen sooner rather than later, since the administration lives on Taft Street?
Let me clarify that a little bit. Glad you asked that question. Obviously, council has already viewed the wonderful video that was supplied. The sewer cameras showing the total collapse of that sewer along that stretch, which happens to be in front of my home. Okay? So yes, due to the fact that we're trying to get this out to bid and in a timely fashion, obviously, council is very aware of the project and the process we're going through. We ask that you, if you want to pass that this evening so we can keep everything on.
I know you're working on a strict timetable with the other project, trying to
Yeah, as you can
put
tell,
pieces
we've got
together.
a pretty good schedule going, and we want to keep on that schedule so everyone's welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then first, I'd like to make the motion that we waive the required readings on the ordinance.
I have a motion to waive the three required readings on ordinance 22-13. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Mel. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mark Kopler,
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance number 22-13? Mr. Lipstrom.
Make a motion we retain the emergency clause on ordinance 22-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance number 22-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Mel. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mark Kopler,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFrias,
Yes.
Randy Lipstrom,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes. Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance number 22-13? Mr. Lipstrom.
Make a motion we adopt ordinance number 22-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 22-13. Do I have a second? I'll second that. Thank you, Mrs. DeFrias. Any discussion?